Now, what could cause a pattern if they wanted to steal?
That's how the tarot readers roll. So when they go general reading, you find out it's you. They start stealing from you. Shocking, eh?
There's a lot more I can post. See, I only had a couple of videos, you know.
They laugh
I have hundreds, some channels, thousands of videos.
they laugh about it.
You know why?
Shocking, eh?
Because
They don't do
I
nothing
know what's
about it.
coming. I know these people. I know how they roll, right? I know how their ego thinks, isn't it? Right?
So if you're a bad guy,
Isn't it shocking out there?
you get it? Just be a prick and love it.
Now, what do you think the inverted people would think? Can you understand my issues? Perhaps things like they speak about. These things don't speak to me like the things around me. They throw rocks, have false claims. I've got videos of their claims on private. Can't even post it, some of them, until they retaliate. They retaliate, right? Then I've got to remove them. That's Australia. Doesn't that sound like North Korea? They need to do the work. Now, I'm not doing art at the moment because I've got to be in a certain mood to want to do art, right? Sometimes you can do art because you do stories and that in a bad mood, but you don't want to do them all the time. And sometimes you do art mostly in a good mood for all sorts of things. It works better in a good mood, right, than the web, right? But you know what these people believe? Let's keep on trucking.
You know what?
In fact, these people locally like to pull out slow signs and all this bullshit to speak about what they believe. In fact, they slow things down like human history has done constantly over and over again. Like Gaza moments, you see? And nature moments. As they don't know how to build, they only know business and trickery to get you to give them money and make it easy. So who's really the idiot? Now let's keep on trucking.
I know now why God only allows
And they elect these
pictures
people
and not
over and over again. You would say, or an alien species would say,
Not because there's
obviously
ones that
they
get married, just
collectively
look good,
want it.
right? And I didn't expect it to probably go up.
They believe in Santa Claus and do these things for business.
It's hard to find pictures for these.
They always talk about old stories for business and they
Then
seem
I
to
talked
get
about
older and less of them
about,
because
couples
business
and how
is what they are.
have more than one couple and stuff like that. But you know what dickheads would do? And there's millions of them. In fact, I've got some pretty close to me.
Things are paused right now for a few days. Get a bit?
Did you got 65 bros?
Because of certain issues that I will talk about later on, if they need to be. Sometimes some things shouldn't come for these people. They should never know nothing, as they use and abuse what they get to know, you see.
Because they call my stuff shit.
See?
You know what I mean?
They think they can just take it from you. And all I ask them is life questions that they don't solve. So what does that mean?
So,
Must be a witch around? There's stories back in history about strange things if you can't explain it through science. We go to witchery, warlocks, right? If we believe there's a story that perhaps a different creature called God, that's not a witch and a warlock, but in a way it'll have to be just better than them, right? Would come in and fix their problems. But let's keep on trucking.
if you are expensive when you do your tattoo,
Perhaps that's why God's gone. Perhaps they cause more problems than they can fix.
readings. Now, when it comes to business,
As I've told you before, what happens if another Jesus turned up? Would the world fight over him? Would they get jealous? Would they do a similar story as what happened last time? Certainly. And they've got missiles and connections to make that story happen. Fucking quick too, couldn't they? As they all battle who believes who should have the contact and the connection first. Like the Stargate thing, an alien thing. And sadly, that's why in this time you wouldn't want a Jesus to turn up, because he would make things worse and get nowhere. Isn't that sad? That's yous. collectively. I will debate yous on that. But all I've got is these clips because collectively and sadly, yous are cowards. You believe having bigger nuts and a group of people to bully is fucking better and you make your business. You think you care about your kids, but in the end, collectively, and these things that think like this are destroying it for their kids and only making a band-aid for now while they destroy for later. Let's keep on trucking along with this clip A for a second.
And do it free on the side of the road.
And when you think all
And
that,
they
do you really want to keep trucking along? If they can make you think like that, what would happen to you? Then they can propaganda what? As North Korea does too. You get it? I think I'm highly educated from these people, and you don't need to read or write either. You just need to understand the main priorities, and then you really truck along pretty quickly. And they hate it. Isn't that sad? Because really, a 12-year-old, time you hit high school, could understand these basics, but they don't want it to. They go, Santa Claus will help you. Okay. We know who Santa Claus is.
Like, they're gonna pay me. They're damn.
They're trickery.
Wonder if these group youths.
In fact, these trickery parents are the best at it. Will keep trying to claim for as long as possible that Santa Claus is true. Because they believe it's better for you. Even though they know themselves, their day they found out it was bullshit and how they felt. But they will keep that facade along because that's all we have here on this world. Isn't that sad? In fact, in a way, I'm glad I haven't had a kid, even though I would love to have one. Because when I think about it, would I want my kid to have that future? And I truly believe that's a high probability of a future to have, and we're going to get, as our history shows that. So if you ever were a gambler or into science, you would actually be worried about it. And what do they do in those sectors? But what do you do? As you're so busy with the devil's tricks and things that likes to play with. Use panic at the end, like Gaza's people who are innocent are doing now. Isn't that sad? History repeats.
Steal from you.
Not one righteous country out there. Not one.
Your life miserable.
And I'm happy to debate them. Some might be 80%, 70%, but there's not one that has the basics of righteousness where those rules up here fix all down here. You can just shut up because of these rules up here. It's a little bit like Americans bear arms right that we don't have. So if America has it, does that mean they're better or we're better? You get it? But apparently here they are. Apparently we need their fucking help. Isn't that sad here in Australia? Back in World War II, we were classed as big, strong people. World War III, we're going to be classed as wimps and needing help and failed in what we used to be, as we still speak about what we used to be. We become these children like on Ancestry that like to get on their TV shows and feel good and proud that their ancestors did nothing because they can't. Isn't that sad? And live off that. You see? Anyway, let's keep on trucking, eh? Sad for yous out there.
That's no good.
And that. Shame on yous. I don't even bother approaching these things anymore. I talk from a distance, peacefully. And I got in trouble for that, talking about child abuse, about someone speaking in nasty words to an animal or to a person. You could do the same words to either one. But either way, it's abuse. Just wanted to know. And yet they called the cops on me. That's the world you live in. That's Australia. And guess who backs them up and comes and says they're protected? The police. And they wonder why they fail. Isn't that sad? Undercover or not, their shields showing while they bust a little here and there and making 100,000 more, that these things, it's worth taking the risk. Because sometimes they're on their side. The police, the system. A little bit like the pollutant factor, how I told you they pollute because they still make more money than the issues they get. You're not going to fix nothing. Oh, are you? Hang on. Humans say, yes, we will.
Says,
I've got a lawyer here. He will say it very well. See? And when I do something that I love, and then everyone that knows me around me, right, I do a good job. Why was I called the Pumpkin King? Shit. People around me that know me know that saying. But what do they do? First, to get rid of that bullshit is to get rid of the people around you. Isn't that true? And then propaganda, why they left. I know Steve-O's that love doing that shit. Right? As they propaganda, the illness that you have is not true. Let's keep on trucking. Isn't that strange? You deserve, God would say, what would God say? Right? It's like, I'm looking up to him. He's the best thing we've got, even though he's not around. We've got the words like Santa Claus. You want to be a Santa Claus, you could be. Right? But there ain't none. Why isn't there none? There could be rich people, probably a couple 100,000 that could be Santa Claus, but they're not. They make money off Santa Claus, the story, right? Let's keep on trucking. Like the religion make money off their stories too, don't they? It's a pity they can't make their new ones or continue on and show something that works, that they do. Instead of keep asking. Asking all cool, but look back in history of what keeps asking. What does that mean if they keep asking? Apparently fucking nothing, I've been told from the things around me. As they say behind the scenes in your back that it does. Crazy, eh? I call it a mental illness. Good on you, Fauci. Enjoy what you do, because you know what I've got left? Exactly what I'm doing now. It's boring to me, but yet it gives me a giggle. Why I wait for the next thing. It's what we all do, isn't it? It's the only thing we've got is that hope that a country will save you, that a fucking almighty will come down and save you. There's nothing else to do except keep trucking along, isn't it? And soon I might feel better again to do something. But then when I post and try to show that, what do I get? That is shit. Thanks for making me feel good. Thanks for the news to make me want to keep going. Thanks. We might have an upper one day like the news does, where there's a little break of good news. You know what I mean? And see you later.